Hey dudes, it's me, Mighty the Armadillo, and I am from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Now, originally Ray the Flying Squirrel was supposed to go back onto Klonoa 2 Lunity's Veil, for this point today, but of course that particular continuation has been delayed, most notably because, well, I think I should probably explain it once we get this thing started for this video. So yes, welcome to the latest installment of the, well, technically speaking, a remake of my video game collection videos. Because remember back in about 5 years ago, that, jeez, I can't believe it's been 5 years ago, that, you noticed that, Mario has already did manage to done the video game collection video back in 2016 nonetheless, which features game consoles, 3DS games, and DS games that we have, along with the Nintendo 64 ones as well. But whenever we look back onto those videos recently, then we figured that those videos are now outdated because, well, first of all, the quality itself looks decent, but not the best. I will have to admit it though. And second, I think that we actually did manage to get ourselves some alright amount of systems, but most of the time it doesn't seem the case for me. So as a result though, we figure I was able to noticing this. And also our voice on certain collection videos has been muffled up, and in a worst case scenario on our Gamecube collection as well as the Wii collection video, along with the Wii U game collection video too. Jeez Louise, man. Both Piglet, Twilight Sparkle, I would say Mega Man. No, wait, not Mega Man, I think. Also, yeah, I think Mega Man and Duffy and Piglet, Twilight Sparkle, they all voice like a robot. Like, if you don't know what I mean, if you want to check it out, just be curiosity's sake. So, anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Because of this though, since that we are now on 2021, and obviously today's day is of course the 5th of November for you guys, I'm about to be doing a updated version of my video game collection video, specifically the consoles department. Now, since that some of these systems are still intact, even though mind you there might be some other replacements, like we'll get to that in one if we get to it. And also, I would like to point things out, I'm also going to be including some of these handheld stuff as well, so keep that in mind. So, yeah, I think we should probably get this thing started then. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the forms of the consoles. Oh, before we get this thing started, obviously this is going to be uploaded just right before the bonfire night tonight, so yeah, thankfully no loud bangs or anything else interrupted for this video. So yeah, let's get this thing to it. So let's get this started with the first system, which is, as you can see right here, the NES Classic Mini. And this is obviously inspired by Nintendo Entertainment System, originally came out in 1985, also known as Famicom for Japan. So yeah, this is a good system to have, especially noticeable that unlike the normal version, that it might be seems kind of hard to get right now, especially noticeable that, well, usually it gets like really old every now and then, especially noticeable because obviously with all technical errors like the cartridge lid door thing that it'll sometimes cause to jam on the original model of the NES or Nintendo Entertainment System, so we figure we might as well able to get the classic version, which not only does it run games on 720p thanks to HDMI cable, but also I can able to actually add in more games by hacking into it, which I believe you get like 30 games from the get-go, but then I obviously added more, like for instance that the rest of the classic Mega Man games, and as well as the third Castlevania game, including the forms of the Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels, and all sorts of stuff like DuckTales 1 and 2. So yeah, that's the reason why I got this, and I didn't play that much of it though, apart from the fact that I need to get back into it at some point. Maybe we can probably go ahead and say this right now, and so after, when Maxi will hopefully finish up with his Let's Play of Mario vs. Donkey Kong, or maybe Ray might finish Klonoa 2 Lunati's Veil. Depending on time, we can probably do one of the NES games. So, but spoiler alerts, well, that's not gonna happen. So that's not gonna happen for spoilers, but you have to wait and see what happens there. So yeah, very great system, and I'm very glad to have it. Even though it's getting really ridiculously expensive now. So yeah, I just want to classify that. Up next we have is the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. Now this is without a doubt the best console mini out there. Mainly because the software they include with this particular console is magnificent. Especially notable for the first time players now finally experience Star Fox 2, which it does need to be unlocked by the way. So as far as this particular console itself goes, as far as now, remember back in forms of in 2016 that we originally did have the actual Super Nintendo console back in the day, but we've sold it mainly due to the fact that maybe because of cartridges might tend to able to actually have ourselves the dead safe battery every now and then. So we figure we might as well able to get the replacements, such as of course the mini version as you can see, which just like the NES Classic Mini, that in addition to be running on 720p, but also HDMI, and also just hacking to download even more titles here and there. Like I've got the rest of the, well, the Super Bomberman games, and also the rest of the Kirby games now, and especially notable with the Donkey Kong Country Trilogy, and as well as from that, the Mega Man X trilogy of games on the Super Nintendo, and the Super Star Wars games as well, and all sorts of really great classic Disney stuff here and there. So yeah, that's the only reason why I've got this. And overall, this is actually a really great mini console, which you still highly recommend it. Although it will still get pretty expensive in nowadays, especially noticeable it's like skyrocketing all of a sudden. At least thankfully we did got this back in Christmas 2017, which is about almost 4 years ago. So yeah, very great mini console to have. Next up is the Nintendo 64. In this case, one of the greatest consoles ever, especially with certain titles such as, of course, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Super Smash Bros., the most iconic fighting game ever, and also some other stuff here and there as well, including Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, and Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. So, yeah, I played a lot of the Nintendo 64 back in the day, and we still managed to able to collect the majority of those Nintendo 64 games even to this day, especially that since that recently this year, that this system is now 25 years old, at least in Japan and North America. Although not in Europe, mind you, because it wasn't until in 2022 it will happen. So, yeah, I had a lot of great memories with this system, especially noticeable that, wow, I had a lot of great games for it. Especially I did have some of them from the Wii Virtual Console, despite the fact that the actual online services is no longer sufficient. Especially, we're on to the new generation, such as, of course, Nintendo Switch, Wii U, and the 3DS generation or something. Well, mind you, the Switch is going super strong still. And recently, speaking of the Switch, that certain N64 games are now onto Nintendo Switch online membership service from the likes of the expansion pack, despite most people didn't like it that much because of, no wonder why there are a lot of dislikes on that video. But anyway, really amazing system to have. Up next we have is the Nintendo Gamecube with, as you can see on the front portion, as you can see, we have the Game Boy Player accessory attached to it, meaning I can play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games onto the big TV. So yeah, it's a really great accessory to have. So yeah, much like the Nintendo 64, I had a lot of great memories with this system, especially I got a lot of games on the GameCube like Super Mario Sunshine, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, and recently Four Swords Adventures, and also Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and Mario Parties 4, 5, 6, and 7, Mario Kart Double Dash, all kinds of Mario sports titles, which there are literally 4 of them for this system. Jeez, why did they just manage to able to go for that? Well, it's kind of hard to say, because I know it's been such a long while since we actually did this collection, since Super Monkey Ball's 20th anniversary and stuff like that. So, and also Sonic games here and there as well, which that seems pretty fantastic, all things considered. So yeah, this is a great system to have. And although the only problem with my GameCube as of late right now is that sometimes it gets like a weird disc reading sound sometimes, which it might actually cause my GameCube to sometimes occasionally says an error has occurred kind of message, which is a bit of annoying and inconsistent at the same time. But regardless of such though, it still works really great. Even for my GameCube collection, as far as for my GameCube games I own, still really works. Like barely any scratches or anything. So as a result though, really great system to have. Up next we have is the more successful Nintendo Switch. Mind you, this is the original model, not the OLED model, because, well, it just feels like a waste of money if you're trying to able to buy the same thing aside from, you know, certain enhancements and stuff, ranging from 7-inch screen and stuff. But yeah, this is easily, without doubt, one of my favorite, or my absolute favorite consoles of all time, which as a result though, had a lot of great games on the system, ranging from Super Mario Odyssey, as well as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and also recently we've got Mario Party Superstars, along with Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, as well as the forms of Sonic Colors Ultimate, and even some really impressive third-party games like Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and recently we've got Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on the Switch, which even then though, I had a really great time with this. Even though, mind you, I've only played the Switch sometimes on TV mode for several Let's Plays, and exponentially occasional handheld play, and sometimes tabletop play. But regardless of such, I had a really great time with this, and hopefully it will continue to still go strong until 2022, which more accurately is going to happen, because obviously more titles is coming, and I can't wait to see how 2022 actually has to offer with this system. So yeah, very great, and honestly, this is a perfect system to have, especially that, you know, gee, no wonder why this system is doing so well. So, kudos to Nintendo by able to actually make this Switch super successful. Next up down here is the Mega Drive Model 1. So as you can see, this is the Model 1 version, as you can tell, because of all the designs and everything. And plus, for some reason, I just got the Sonic figure on display because that's his first appearance on that system. So, yeah, I had a great games with it, which is of course the majority are Sonic games, and Toy Story game, which I did manage to able to guys the original cartridge for. And also, since I got Mega Drive Model 1, the old school one, I also got the mini version, which is basically the same thing, except basically this is all like pre-installed and everything. I think you get like 42 games specifically on the system, although mind you, on like the Super Nintendo Mini, you actually get like 21 games. But just like those two mini consoles up there, I basically got this for the sake of like trying out some new games on the Mega Drive, like Mega Man, the Wily Wars, and especially noticeable with Castlevania, the New Generation, or Bloodlines in America. And also on top of that, I can still able to actually access to hacking, so that means I can download even more games here and there without like illegally illegal kind of syndrome, although mind you, it might be still true. But hey, at least it's nice to have this. But yeah, with the original system that I can play cartridge within, with Sonic games, although despite it actually runs at 50 Hz mode, which make everything else a lot slower, whilst in this runs perfectly well within 60 Hz mode, so that means everything else is in normal speed. So yeah, very glad to have that, and same applies to the original Mega Drive console as well. So yeah, definitely pleased to able to actually have this to my collection. Next up we have is the Sega Master System 2, which, gonna think about it, I've only got this just about a year ago. Mind you, because there are not enough games coming out for 2020, despite, well, you know what I mean. So, yeah, this is a very great system to have, and the reason why I choose Master System 2, just because I just feel like that maybe this is a perfect size for this cabinet, as you can see, for that size. Although, mind you, I was expecting to get Master System 1, but it will not fit in, so Yeah, and I really love the aesthetics with the system. Sure, it's nothing much, but you get yourselves a pretty fancy pause button right here. I don't know if you can see it because I was in my way, but you do get this awesome, satisfying pause button, and as well as these clickable power power switch. So I haven't got that much games on this system though, sadly. Although, mind you, the only ones I cared for is, of course, the 3 Sonic games, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and as well as Sonic Chaos, because those are the only games I cared for. So, yeah, very great system to able to have it to my collection and stuff. Next up we have is the Sega Saturn, and this is basically Sega Saturn Mark II, because of all these little buttons is in a different shape. Like, mind you, that 2 of them, the power switch and the reset switch, are circle ones, and the one on the rectangle shape is the eject switch. So, or the eject little disc open tray thing. So if you're trying to press it that, and then you get the disc out and stuff like that. So, much like the Mega Drive right here, as well as the Sega Master System 2, or the Master System, haven't got that much games on the Sega Saturn, although, mind you, the only games I cared for is once again the Sonic games, plus the 2 Nights games, Nights into Dreams and Christmas Nights into Dreams, because, let me tell you, those 2 games are amazing on the Saturn. So, and some of the Sega Saturn stuff is going to get much more expensive nowadays, especially Panzer Dragoon Saga as an example. So, yeah, very glad to able to have this, especially that, well, I can able to experience the Nights games on this retro system. So, yeah, very pleased to have this. And there's the last Sega system right here, which is Sega Dreamcast. Now, if you guys are probably thinking that you've actually got the another Sega Dreamcast, well, what happened to the other one back in 2016? Mind you, we sort of give up on the forms of trying to fix in the forms of that random resetting problem, and as a result, that we have to buy another one back in 2017. But for this particular Dreamcast, as you can see, that it works perfectly, even though there are a few rare occasions that the random resetting problem is still present. But I did manage able to try to fix it, and after I managed to able to fix it, well, I think I don't come across into any random resetting problems anymore. Although, mind you, they might still occur every now and then. But much like the other 3 Sega systems right here, didn't get that much games apart from Sonic games, including the best version of Rayman 2 The Great Escape on the Dreamcast version, because everyone knows about the Dreamcast version is more superior than the other versions of Rayman 2. So, yeah, this is a really, really amazing system to have, especially that since that this is the last Sega system to ever came out, despite the fact that the actual the selling points was a bit bombed when it came out, especially noticeable it lasts for about 2 years and stuff. Not exactly sure why. I think it's probably because the PlayStation 2 is pretty much dominating for the marketing strategy. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame, but hey, at least this system looks so cool looking. In fact, if you ever played Monkey Ball Banana Mania, you can able to play as, you know, the Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, and the Game Gear, which I'll get into in just a moment. So yeah, really great system for the Sega Dreamcast. Up next down there we have is the PlayStation 1, and as you can see, this is the slim model of the PlayStation 1. Because you remember, guys, back in the forms of 2016, that we did manage to able to get the original model, but unfortunately, though, we sold that and trying to replace as in the slim model. Because let me tell you, I think the slim model does look pretty nice looking, although despite it's pretty small. But regardless of such, though, it is a nice thing to have. And I had a lot of games on my PlayStation 1, because obviously, famously for is of course Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, including Crash Team Racing and Crash Bash, the most obscure Crash Party game out there, as well as the Spyro Trilogy, and also Rayman 1 and 2, and also Klonoa, and recently Ape Escape, which I'm now interested with the series. So, yeah, stay tuned for those Let's Plays coming up at some point in the future, but not now though, because, you know, still working on 3 Let's Plays at a time. So yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, I must able to actually get some more games on the PlayStation 1 every now and then, because some of them might be cheaper and some of them might be expensive, although we might still get some of them from the likes of the PS3 download, from the likes of the PSN store, which that might be seems a little bit obvious sense, but yeah, that's actually how this goes with the PlayStation 1 Slim, and very glad to be able to have the Slim model as opposed to the original one, because, well, I just feel like it, so yeah. Next up, as you can see, we have the PlayStation 2 Slim. So yeah, this is basically it's like the replacement of the fat one, which I did manage to still have, but I'm using it downstairs for the sake of likely not only for DVD player to able to watch it downstairs within like a really good 4K inch the 4K quality TV, but also I can play certain bus games downstairs with my friends like Sonic and Knuckles, and also Ray the Flying Squirrel if we got bored. But as a result though, that's the reason why I've managed to brought the PS2 Slim model with me. Well, at least it's already hooked up to my TV at the moment. So I had a lot of great games on the PlayStation 2, of course, because obviously with Sonic games is also on there, as well as the Kingdom Hearts games, Burnout games, as well as Ape Escape 2 and 3, and also I managed to able to, well, re-brought the Monkey Ball games again, so because feel like the Super Monkey Ball fanatic like we are, and yeah, I actually enjoy playing games on the PlayStation 2, so as a result though, not too many issues there, apart from the fact that I was expecting to go back onto Shadow the Hedgehog on the PlayStation 2, but I apparently got soft-locked by loading times, so I have no progression there, so because of that, it's kind of a shame, honestly, because I already completed 2 versions out of 3, so it's kind of a shame. But hey, at least, you know, Ray the Flying Squirrel will eventually go back to Klonoa 2, Lunity's Vale at some point until next Monday, so just want to classify that. Up next we have here is the PlayStation 3. This is the Slim model, so nothing changes from the forms of the 2016 counterparts, apart from the fact that, well, I did manage to give this PlayStation 3 a bit of a good clean this time around, because, oh man, it was so dusty every now and then, which is kind of annoying, especially noticeable you always have to clean up, which is always, the most important thing. So, I haven't got that much of PS3 games anymore, because let me tell you, the only thing is kind of sad to tell you guys is the fact that we have lost every single data on our previous PSN accounts, let me tell you. Especially noticeable how the fact that, well, we've lost all of our downloadable games, including the progressioning of our data, and also on top of that, we no longer have the familiar games on the actual PSN games, such as, of course, Dragon Slayer Trilogy, although luckily I still got those on my phone, so I can play them on the go, and unfortunately that was kind of sad, because maybe because I accidentally activated the 2-step verification on, and I forgot my previous thing I was supposed to address, but either way, it's kind of sad, but either way, that's all I can say. But yeah, really great PlayStation 3 system right here, although mind you, the only hiccups I was going to be thinking about the system is that sometimes whenever as you notice that I've managed to able to use the component cable with my PlayStation 3, and sometimes my TV just constantly just managed to go black out and just put it back the actual screen on again, which it will be distracting, especially noticeable if you're trying to play Kingdom Hearts games within the secret boss fights here and there, and you will get distracted by the forms of that very annoying, irritating blackout at points, but yeah, knows what it is. Maybe because of my Slamsong TV, it can be a bit of a temperamental sometimes, but that's just how it is for me, so yeah, pretty great system. Up next we have is the PlayStation 4 Slim. So yeah, you probably recognize this ever since back in Christmas 2016 video. That's, of course, we technically we've got with Shovel Knight, but we've only played it temporarily, and plus because I don't feel like we're interested with the series anymore. But regardless of such, we actually got the Slim model, as you can see, so because obviously that's how we like it to be, even though it's nowhere near as powerful as the Pro version, because the Pro version of the PlayStation 4 does run in 4K Ultra HD, but unfortunately our TV is still not capable of 4K quality. But either way, I had great games on this as well, much like the PlayStation 3. For PlayStation 4, I had great stuff in there as well, such as, of course, the Sonic games, Kingdom Hearts compilation games, as well as from that, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, despite it's okay, but Banana Mania is just so great. And also on top of that, the really damn good SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated remake, which I think you should probably still recommend it, despite the fact that it does have some bit of oddities compared to the forms of the original version of the game. But either way, it knows what it is though, so yeah, pretty cool system to have. Down here we have both the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U down there. And this is obviously unchanged, although I would like to give you a mention about the Nintendo Wii. We actually now got 3 Nintendo Wiis, one from this current one that is usually plugged in right now, can play obviously physical Wii games, which it still works even to this day. And also the honorable mention comes from the white Wii we used to have back in long time ago, that unfortunately though we still come across into a disk read error message, which can no longer play Wii games anymore. And we can still able to play virtual console games plus WiiWare titles, including some of these hacking games, including Mario Kart Arcade GP1 and 2, so stay tuned for Mario Kart Arcade GP2 at some point this month. And finally, the third Wii is used for my American Wii to play the Mario Baseball game, which is pretty obvious because the Wii is region locked. So yeah, really amazing system. It's actually one of the best looking systems ever. Especially noticeable about the fact that the Wii is super successful, much like the PlayStation 2, including the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, I had a lot of great games on the Wii as well, much like the Switch and the PlayStation 2. And yeah, I definitely can't wait able to do some even more Let's Plays on the Wii. Although, mind you, we've already done quite a lot of them in the past, but hopefully we'll try to do some more in the future. But yeah, that won't be for a long while though, because of more titles coming out soon. So yeah, very great system indeed. Now on the Wii U on the other hand though, now originally back in 2016, this was without a doubt one of our favorite HD system. I think I kind of like down with the Wii U anymore, just because, don't get me wrong, it is a nice system, but ultimately speaking, despite its miserable failure, most notably with the name itself, the Wii U, that's the most dumbest name I've ever heard. And well, it does have some good solid games for sure, but it does have some very worst games ever, like Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, that's the worst one, and also some other crappy third-party supportive games here and there as well. But regardless of such, some other titles, like The Legend of Zelda Remake HD ports, are very impressive, and Super Mario 3D World is very impressive as well, and Mario Kart 8, and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, despite the challenges on that game is a bit tough for my taste. But yeah, regardless of such, it does have its high points, but also low points even though as well. But I think I honestly prefer the Switch over a bit more because of the forms of fully capable of HD rather than just having AV cable this time around, which I guess is like a obvious choice. That why certain Switch games are now going to be on, well, certain Wii U games are now onto the Switch now every now and then to try to make it more successful. So yeah, the Wii U is not too bad, but it's just that I haven't really touched upon it that much though, but mainly because the Switch has actually gone super successful for me, but still a nice one to have. Next up, as you can see, despite it's a bit darker around the edges, but we got ourselves the OG Xbox. Yes, this system is now 20 years old, which I can't believe it's been 20 years old. So I haven't got that much games in here either, especially noticeable because, well, I wasn't expecting originally I was going to get a crap ton of Xbox 360 games, or Xbox OG games, or Xbox One games in the future. but I think I need to able to take it easy for it, especially I need to get used to with these franchises I was into, not something like, I don't know, it's a bit hard to say about this honestly, but yeah, I had some great games for this, including some Sonic games, mind you, there's only 4 of them on this system, and also we got Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which is the greatest game in my opinion, as well as the Crash games that I also managed to get as well. So, well, despite the fact that Wrath of Cortex is actually one of the, well, the black sheep, or should I say, one of the most mediocre games I have ever seen. Although, mind you, the Xbox version is pretty good, but the other 2 versions are meh. So, but anyway, this is a nice system to have, and it's also pretty damn heavy too. Like, I can simply just build up my muscles to able to actually just to carry this darn thing every time whenever we, you know, trying to set up the cabinet and everything, and it's just, ugh, it's way too heavy for my taste. But anyway, moving on. Up next we have is the Xbox 360, and as you can see, this is the slim version, and basically it's the 250GB version, because obviously you can tell this is all glossy and everything, because I know there's also the matte finish version, which you can only find that as in not so much 4GB version, but regardless of such though, it's a nice device replacement to have, because I remember back in 2016, that's what Mario told me, that we got the Xbox 360 arcade system as opposed to the slim version. But personally speaking, I think the slim version looks much nicer, mainly because I love the actual shape of it, as well as from that, it also got enough room for my cabinet, as you can see on screen. And also on top of that, I really love the gorgeous glossy effects to it, despite it might actually get a bit of scratch here and there, as well as a lot of like dust here and there, including fingerprints here and there as well, so don't forget. But yeah, much like the OG Xbox, I had some good games here and there, but usually I haven't got that much of these games every now and then because, well, you know, like I said earlier, I'll just play certain games that I was interested, like Sonic and, you know, just majority of Sonic games, as well as some other, like, miscellaneous kind of games, but at least it's something to behold, I suppose. But yeah, that's that for the Xbox 360 Slim. And lastly, for the consoles department, as you can see, we have the Xbox One S. Despite it's a bit of a dumb name, but because I have to go for Xbox One S, because, well, I think this is the only, you know, modern, you know, Xbox. It's kind of hard to say, but anyway. And I haven't got that much games on the Xbox One either, mainly because, well, I was waiting for some upcoming titles here and there as well, most notably Sonic Origins for God knows what platforms they'll go on, or the new Sonic Rangers game or Frontiers game, as far as whatever I've heard about several leaks or rumors out there so far. But overall, not bad of a system, despite it's a dumb name, I find. But regardless of such, I'm very glad to able to get the S version as opposed to the normal version, because while the normal version is fine, but ultimately speaking, I think the S version looks a lot more detailed to me though, mainly because it feels almost exactly the same as the regular one, except, well, it just looks much more nicer, and plus no glossiness. Unlike my Xbox 360 Slim, does have glossy moments here and there. But hopefully I'll get some more games eventually on the Xbox One eventually. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for all the consoles. But we're not, hold up your horses, because we are not done, because, well, it's pretty obvious we are now moving on to the handhelds. So yeah, I'll meet you guys in a second. Okay, I'm back, and now let's get on to the handheld devices that we've got so far, for the sake of our video game collection video update, for the consoles anyway. So, of course, we'll start from the very beginning. I think we should probably get started with the Nintendo ones, and some Sony ones, and eventually some miscellaneous ones. So, yeah, let's get to it. So, starting with, of course, we got the special edition Game & Watch, specifically the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Edition, which is the more recent release, back in, well, almost a year ago. And this is obviously inspired by the 35th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Game, like back in 1985, which, in addition to able to include Super Mario Bros. The original game, along with the Lost Levels, and also include Ball, and eventually this month later on, specifically next week, that the Zelda one is going to be coming as well, which I'm really looking forward to able to pick up that particular version. So yeah, I didn't play that much of it though, mainly because I've already got Mario Bros. 1 and the Lost Levels already, thanks to the NES Classic. So yeah, that's a nice thing to have while playing Mario Bros. 1 and the Lost Levels on the go, even though, mind you, that my Game & Watch currently is drained of batteries at the moment, so I need to charge that up until later on during time. So yeah, that's that. And next to it, on the other hand, we have the Game Boy Vance Sp. As you can see, we still have the Mario vs. Donkey Kong edition, which, speaking of such, I have got the game just inside in here. Yep, there it is right there. So mind you, because Maxi is practicing this game before he continues on with his Let's Play of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Let's Play. So had a lot of great games for not only for the Game Boy Advance, but also Game Boy and Game Boy Color games as far as backwards compatibility stuff as far as this is concerned. But overall, a really nifty handheld to have. And I'm glad we got the clamshell version, because obviously it will have, although mind you, my Game Boy Advance Sp does have a bit of scratches as well as fingerprints, mind you, because we had this system for a long time. But regardless of such, it's a great handheld to have, especially that unlike the normal Game Boy Advance system, that the normal Game Boy Advance has pretty lacking with backlit screen, whilst in this, it's all in like filled-in backlit screen. So pretty nice, especially noticeable that you can see everything. Up next we have is the Dsi Xl, and this is obviously the brown version, and this appears to be the replacement of the DSi, the white one, that we used to have back in 2016, but of course our hands has actually gotten a lot bigger than ever, so we managed to go for the Dsi Xl. And for we've played with the Dsi XL, it is a massive step up from the normal DSi, because for one thing, the screen itself is huge, and also the grip is actually super spot on. And on top of that, I feel so comfortable holding this, especially noticeable I've got bigger hands and all that stuff. And I just really love the aesthetics with this Dsi XL. And actually, let's see what game I got in there. Oh, we got ourselves the Kirby Power Paintbrush, aka Canvas Curse in North America, which I've been meaning to do that Let's Play at some point in the future. But not now though, because obviously we still got, you know, current Let's Plays we are still doing anyway. So yeah, I have a lot of great games on the DS itself, like ranging from Mario games to Sonic games, and even in some cases we have some Kirby games here and there, as well as Metroid games here and there as well, despite I've only got Metroid Prime Hunters, because I get the feeling that Metroid Prime Hunters is the more recognizable ones, despite control scheme can be a bit cramped up at points. And also on top of that, that's what else I need to say? Oh yeah, also with Kingdom Hearts games as well, that's despite there's only 2 of them, and yeah, it's a nice little handheld to have, and it's also one of the most successful systems as well, because obviously with brain games they also include that as well, such as of course with you know, brain training, more brain training, etc, etc. So yeah, very great to have it. Next up we have is the new Nintendo 3DS XL, which obviously this is the Super Nintendo version of this particular system, which meaning it's all Super Nintendo palette. So as a result though, much like the DSi XL, I basically got this for the sake of likely for, in addition to able to have ourselves a massive upgrade compared to the forms of the regular 3DS, meaning I can now able to actually access to the C-Stick here, along with the forms of a much more bigger screen, and on top of that, Amiibo NFC built in with this thing, and on top of that, with highly processing speed. So yeah, let's see what's in here, and it's WarioWare Gold. I've been playing this for quite some time, mind you, because Get It Together just recently came out on the Switch. But hey, at least it's nice to compliment it, I suppose. So yeah, very great system as well, especially noticeable I've got tons of games for the 3DS, much like the DS, ranging from Mario games, some Sonic games, and especially noticeable with Kirby games, Zelda games are really damn great. And especially noticeable with the Kingdom Hearts game, Dream Drop Distance, and also some very good third-party games here now as well. Although, mind you, it will get downhill during the course of 2019 because obviously certain 3DS games didn't sell well because of, well, Switch is now taking over for the later years and such. But all in all, still a great system to have, especially noticeable with 3D effects comes into play still. But hey, at least it's something to behold. Next we have the Sega Game Gear. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't usually play this much, to be honest with you, because I think the actual, the sound of it is almost going to be completely shot to pieces. I mean, you're just going to have to turn up your maximum volume, man. You can't hear the damn thing. I think you need to put, like earphones in, and then turn it all the way higher up, and you're just about to be barely hear it with the actual headset. But the reason why I've got this, just for the sake of, like, nice thing to have for the Sega handheld. So, and I've only got 3 Sega Game Gear games on it, like Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 and Sonic Chaos, much like the Master System. But obviously I can play on the go. Although this thing is monstrosity because you have to pick up with 6 AA batteries. I'm not even kidding. That is like the biggest massive brick. So yeah, it's nice to have it, I suppose. I mean, usually I haven't played as much, like I said before, mainly because of the sound compactor is almost going to blow up. So I've been really able to try and modify that at some point, but not now though, maybe in another time. Next up we have is the PSP, and this is the 3000 version, and yeah, very nice to have the PSP 3000 because, well, it's much more sleeker, first of all, and second, it's a bit more light, a bit lighter compared to the forms of, I know there's also the 1000 version as well as the 2000 version, but for me, I personally stick with the 3000 version just for the sake of, like, nice convenience that is. So, and actually, is there a game in there somewhere? Well, I guess it is. We have Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Don't ask me why I've got this. Although, mind you, as you can see, I've got the replacement UMD disc, as you can see. Which, yeah, that seems kind of odd to have that in there. But yeah, much like the occasional PS3 and PS4 games, I did have some good games here and there as well. Or, mind you, the biggest highlight of the PSP for me, though, is definitely Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And also got Ape Escape P, which is basically like a lazy remake of the original Ape Escape. But it's nice to have it on the go, nonetheless. And also, I play some pretty cool PS1 games if I decide able to play it on the go. And then just play PS1 games on the go, too. So, yeah, it's a nice thing to have the PSP itself, so yeah, it's a nice thing to have it. Okay, sorry for this jump cut right there, folks, because I'm pretty sure Ray was asking me something, so yeah, that's that. Up next we have is the PlayStation Vita, and this is also the slim model, as you can tell, although mind you, this is the 2016, or is it the 2016 version? I need to double check on the actual, oh yeah, it does say 2016 on there. Yes, 2016. And sadly I haven't got that much games of it, this portable device anymore, mainly because I only care for Sonic and Super Monkey Ball and stuff like that. Although, mind you, I did used to have certain PlayStation Vita games, but no longer have them anymore, mainly because, well, I just want to save it up and try to sell them for curiosity's sake. And as you can see, the game is in there is Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits, which still haven't completed, most notably because I'm looking at U advanced difficulty level, which I will say that is the hardest aspect of Banana Splits in my opinion, and I will say the difficulty gets a little bit more too much for my taste, but that's how it is for me. But despite its a miserable failure, I think this system is alright. although not the best system ever. I mean, mind you, that the analog sticks are a bit too tiny, whilst, you know, I think it's roughly the same size as the PSP, kind of think about it. But overall, I definitely noticed that about the fact that, well, it's kind of hard to say. But anyway, not much else to say about the PlayStation Vita, although, mind you, that I'm not exactly sure if there's actually a rumored G5 version of the PlayStation Vita somewhere around the corner, but then again, we'll just have to wait and find out if the rumors are true or not. But hey, at least it's there, and although, mind you, I've only got 2 games on the system, so that's a bit meh. Up next we have is the Neo Geo Pocket Color. And there's only one game in particular I got with this system, and that is, of course, I don't know if you can see it, but it does say Sonic Pocket Adventure, despite the actual label's almost gonna worn off. But regardless of such, this is the reason why I've got this system, mainly because of that Sonic game. That is actually really dang good. Although the only downside about this portable device right here is the backlit light is a bit impossible to see. Although there's also the normal version of the Neo Geo Pocket, but we tend to skip that because that's the reason why we brought the color version, because it's much more nicer. And yeah, not much else to tell for the actual Neo Geo Pocket Color, but hey, at least it's nice to be able to have this, I suppose. And finally, for the handheld device we have is the Nokia Engage, and this is the first version of the Nokia Engage, because you can tell with the actual the buttons and everything, and well, I haven't got that much games in there either, mainly because some of these other games are pretty badly ported over, and much like the PlayStation Vita, I've only cared for Monkey Ball and Sonic the Hedgehog on this system, so I think the actual game I got inside in there was actually Sonic N, which is basically based off from Sonic Advance 1, but with a, well, vertical screen display as opposed to you can see everything, unlike the Game Boy Advance superior version. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much about it for the Nokia Engage. I haven't played that much of it recently, although mind you, I will get back into it at some point, so don't worry. So there you go, folks, that's pretty much about it for our updated video game console collection video for you guys. And I hope you guys are able to enjoy this collection, despite it might have some bit of awkward moments here and there, but let's face it, there's not much else I can speak of, apart from the fact that, well, I'm just glad to be able to show you guys the actual, the updated version of my game consoles right here, including some handheld ones as well. So yeah, you probably get expected by this point. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is me, Mighty the Armadillo, from the Maxi Toys. And until then, I think, suffice to tell you, that stay tuned for the next episode. It will be possibly a remake of my 3DS game collection video at some point. Not now, but eventually in the future. Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to the Maxi Toys channel and leave a like in this video. And until then, I will see you guys at some point in the future. So, ciao.